one, not one country of origin or path to America, not one language, religion, or set of traditions, not one struggle or movement for justice, but many. This community is as diverse as the flowers of the Philippines, as rich as the silk of a kimono, and as beautiful as the colors of the Festival of Holi. You come from immigrants and pioneers and tribes that have called our country home long before there even was a United States. Your voices have crafted our laws and dismantled injustice, penned our poetry and painted our dreams, taught our children and pushed the frontiers of our future. But while you may come from different backgrounds, there are common threads that unite Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders. The strength to overcome racism and adversity, the generosity and grace that moves you to hold on to old traditions and create new ones, the creativity that drives you to shape our art and technology and culture for yourselves and for our next generation, the courage to lift up your voices and build better communities for us all. You have no one story, but millions, and all of them matter. Individual by individual, your experiences show us the complex beauty of our people. And together, you bring harmony and strength to our entire nation. So may I say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And now it is my honor to introduce our United States Trade Representative, Ambassador Tai. Ambassador?
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Dr. Biden, for that very kind introduction. It is a great honor to be at the White House today as we celebrate Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. This month is about celebrating the contributions our families, friends, and leaders have made throughout this country's history. But it is also a time to reflect on the challenges that our communities are facing, especially in recent years. Just 2 days before I was sworn in, a gunman in Atlanta killed 8 people, 6 of whom were Asian women. President Biden and Vice President Harris immediately went to Atlanta. They met with local AA and NHPI leaders to show our administration's support in the face of this tragedy. A year ago, President Biden signed an executive order to establish the White House Initiative on Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders. I am proud to co-chair this initiative, which brings together stakeholders and local leaders to advance equity, justice, and opportunity. This complements our work at USTR to advance an inclusive, worker-centered trade agenda that aims to deliver prosperity for all. As I've traveled the country and around the world to carry out the President's trade agenda, I've made a point to sit down with local AA and NHPI leaders along the way. I am continually inspired by the resilience and perseverance that our communities have shown in the face of increased hate, violence, and discrimination. We are standing up and fighting for a better future. Helping to lead this fight is a true role model, our first Asian American Vice President, Kamala Harris. One of my fondest memories is meeting with Vice President Harris in her office just before she swore me in as the first Asian American U.S. Trade Representative. I was with my husband and my mother. That day also happened to be my birthday. So Vice President Harris congratulated me and then also wished me a happy birthday. She then turned to my mother and said, "Happy birthday to you as well." Remember this? My mother responded enthusiastically and said, "Thank you. You know, in Asian cultures, you wish the mother a happy birthday because," she said, "I did all the work on the day that she was born." The vice president winked at her and said, "Oh, I know." I am so proud to represent our AA and NHPI communities in this cabinet alongside our vice president. And so it is with great pride that I introduce to all of you this afternoon the Vice President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris.
Thank you, Ambassador. Honor the mothers, the aunties, the chitties, all of them. And of course, the husbands and the fathers and the grandfathers. It is good to be with everyone. I think this is, Mr. President, one of the biggest groups that we've had since we've been in office, and it's quite a beautiful sight to see. So good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon. And as you all know, my mother arrived in the United States at the age of 19 from India. And when I think about the work that we are all doing, the work we are doing as an administration led by our president, in terms of not only living the values, but standing on the shoulders of so many who imagined that we would all be here, and who know that when we talk about the beauty of who we are as a nation, as the United States of America, it is represented by all of the people who are here today and all those who are proud that we stand here today together. President Joe Biden, Dr. Jill Biden, Mr. Second Gentleman, and members of our cabinet, it is good again to be gathered with all of you today and to be joined by the members of the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus. As a former member of the caucus, I will take a few moments to talk about a friend to so many of us, a mentor to so many of us, one who helped found CAPAC and became its first chair. And of course, I am talking about the amazing Secretary Norman Mineta, who devoted his career to public service. For all of those who knew Norm, he worked tirelessly to make our nation stronger, safer, and more just. And in so doing, he inspired a generation of leaders, including me. Secretary Mineta's family is here with us today, and from my family to yours, please know that he is deeply missed. Today, yes, it is a great celebration for so many reasons, of so many things. But it is also impossible to ignore that we gather mere days after a horrific act of hate in Buffalo, New York, targeting Black Americans. And you know, it was only last year, as the ambassador said, only last year, that I was with the president in Atlanta, mourning the murder of 8 people, including 6 who were Asian American women. And sadly, what I said then remains true now. Racism is real in America. It has always been. Xenophobia is real in America. It has always been. Sexism too. I said last year, and I sadly say again today, we have had people in positions of incredible power in our country scapegoating. People with the biggest pulpits spreading this kind of hate. This requires, these moments, sadly, tragically, require us to ask, who are we as a nation and what do we stand for? It is yet again a moment to remember and talk about and reflect on how we treat people, and do we live to the greatest and best of our ideals, which means treating people, all people, with dignity and respect, remembering the history of our nation and who built our nation, and honoring the diversity of all who have contributed to who we are today. And of course, that is what this month requires us to do. And I know, looking around at the leaders here, we remember it every day of the year. And we also know in tragic moments like this, that we are committed collectively to saying a harm against any one of us is a harm against all of us, and it is a harm against our nation. And the president and I, and all of us as leaders, will not be silent. We will not stand by. We must always speak out against violence, against hate crime and discrimination, whenever and wherever it occurs. And we must do everything in our power to end this epidemic of hate. We feel great pride, based on good reason and fact and history, in what we celebrate today. And we know that those who allowed us to be here and paved the path for us to be present at this moment expect great things from us, including that we are not only clear-eyed, but that we are optimistic about our future collectively, about our future as a nation, that we remain committed to the ideals that make this nation great, that we remain committed to the notion that a harm against any one of us is a harm against all of us, but that is an extension of a most profound belief, which is that we are in this together as one nation, undivided. So today, we celebrate all those ideals when we celebrate the great people of this nation who have paved a path for so many of us to be where we are today. And finally, to quote then a great American, Norma Netta, I quote, "If we will act together, then we are strong enough to withstand any evil, internal or external, that threatens to unravel," and this is key, "this beautiful tapestry that is America." And now it is my great honor to introduce a man who ran for president because he knows that no one should be in this fight alone, President Joe Biden.
You gotta admit I have good taste in picking people, don't you? You're way above my pay grade. Kamala, thank you, and Ambassador Tai, Doug, the second gentleman out there hiding behind everybody out there, I know. And, Jill and I are honored to welcome all of you here to celebrate the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month here in the Rose Garden. You know, it's wonderful to see so many friends. U.S. Senator Mazie Hiron. Where's Mazie? I see, so she's here. I'm looking.